Alright, for our last video this week, we're going to look at X and Y intercepts. If you think about football, when something is intercepted, the other team crosses the ball and they intersect at a line. Or if you think about intercepts as intersections, it's where two lines meet, like on a road. So we're going to look at the X and Y intercepts today. Some information about X and Y intercepts. Intercepts are where functions cross the X or Y axis. Apparently I can't spell. So are where they cross the X or Y axis. There we go. X-intercepts is where a function crosses the X-axis and the value of Y is 0. For instance, if we had an ordered pair like 2, 0, that would be located on the X-axis. That would be an X-intercept. A Y-intercept is where a function crosses the Y-axis. The value of X is 0. If we had 0, 5, that would be a point on the Y-axis on our graph. So X-axis, our X-intercepts cross the X-axis, and Y-intercepts cross the Y-axis. Alright, turning over the first tab, to find an X and Y-intercept from a graph, we're going to look at the X and Y-axis. So we have a linear function that goes with a positive slope. We're going to look where this crosses the X-axis. The X-axis goes side to side. This crosses the X-axis at the ordered pair 2, 0. So the X-intercept is 2, 0. Then we're going to look at where this crosses the Y-axis. The Y-intercept is on the Y-axis going up and down. So this line crosses the Y-axis at 0, -3. This is the Y-intercept. Notice that when it crosses the X-axis, there is a number for X in our ordered pair and a 0 in for Y. When it crosses the Y-axis, there's a number for Y and X is 0. Turning over the next tab, we're going to look for the X and Y intercept in a table. In a table, we're looking for where X is 0 or Y is 0. That will tell us which intercept we have. Going down the column, we have -4, -9, -2, -6, 0, -3, and 2, 0. Looking at this first ordered pair with the value of 0, notice we have a number for Y and X is 0. So 0, -3 is the Y-intercept. There's a value for Y and X is 0. Going down to the next one, we have 2, 0. There's a number for X and Y is 0, so the X-intercept is 2, 0. If you'll turn over the last tab, we're going to look at an equation. Here we have the equation 3x minus 2y equals 0. Remember, to find the X-intercept, the Y value is 0. So we're going to look at these one part at a time. We have 3x minus 2y equals 6. And we'll find the X-intercept first. When it's on the X-axis, the Y value is 0. So in this equation, I can plug in 0 for Y. So 3x minus 2 times 0 equals 6. 3x minus 0 equals 6, or 3x equals 6. So when I divide both sides by 3, I find that the value of x on the X-axis, where this line would intercept, is x equals 2. So my X-intercept is 2, 0. To find the Y-intercept, I'm going to do the same thing, except my X value will be 0. So we have 3x minus 2y equals 6. When this crosses the Y-axis, X is 0, so I can plug in a 0. And then we get 3 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2y equals 6. 0 minus anything is itself, so we have -2y equals 6. Dividing both sides by -2, we find that y equals -3, so my Y-intercept is 0, -3. Looking at our last example, this one is in slope-intercept form. So to find the X-intercept, y has to be 0. When y is 0, I have 0 equals 4x minus 12. We would have to add 12 to both sides of the equation. So we get 12 equals 4x. When we divide both sides by 4, we find that x equals 3. So my intercept for the x-axis would be 3, 0. Notice that y is the value 0 in this ordered pair. To find the y-intercept, this is in slope-intercept form, and we learned a couple of days ago in class on our video that when it's y equals mx plus b, the value of b represents the y-intercept. So in the equation y equals 4x minus 12, if I plug in 0 for x, y equals 4 times 0 minus 12. Well, 4 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 12 is negative 12. So the y-intercept would be 0, negative 12. This is the ordered pair where the line would cross the y-axis. Make sure you have this finished and brought to class tomorrow. If you have any questions, please jot them down.